The Tobago House of Assembly is requesting 5.9% of the national budget for fiscal 2026. On Monday, Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy, Petal-Ann Roberts, delivered her maiden budget presentation at the Assembly Legislature. Caricia Douglas tells us more.
The Tobago House of Assembly is requesting $3.71 billion for fiscal 2026. Secretary of Finance Petal-Ann Roberts delivered a 2-hour-long budget presentation themed Accelerating Growth, Anchoring Fiscal Stability in the Assembly Legislature. In this fiscal package, the THA's expenditures will target key areas including tourism and the creative sector, agriculture, infrastructure, digital technologies and human capital development, education and training, and the micro, small and medium enterprises sector.
Estimates of recurrent expenditure amount to $2.71 billion, and development program expenditure total $1 billion. Unemployment relief program expenditure estimates amount to $91.9 million, and CPEP estimates of expenditure amounts to $43.4 million. The total estimates of expenditure are predicated on projected national budget of $63.5 billion and a requested share of 5.9%.
Secretary Roberts asked that the THA receive no less than what is requested.
Any allocation to the THA in fiscal 2026 that is less than 5.9% will constitute a non-alleviation of the per capita expenditure inequality that has defined the national budget and its appropriation bill since 1962. Basically, all Tobago is requesting is per capita expenditure equality as a minimum revenue share to the THA, based primarily on the island's population as a percentage share of the national population.
The Division of Health received the highest share in the THA's budget with recurrent estimates of $845.6 million. The Finance Secretary also explained the total revenue projected to be collected in Tobago for fiscal 2026 is $225.5 million.
Taxes on income and profits, $152.66 million. Taxes on property, $0.4 million. Taxes on goods and services, $60.87 million. Taxes on international trade, $2.6 million. Other taxes, $7 million, with a total tax revenue from these tax revenues of $223.53 million. Other taxes or other non-tax revenues include property income taxes, $0.04 million. Other non-tax revenues, $1.94 million. Total non-tax revenue of $1.98 billion.
Secretary Roberts informed the THA intends to intensify its relationships with multilateral funding agencies such as the Inter-American Development Bank, the Caribbean Development Bank, and the United Nations Development Program towards enhancing access to loans, grant funding, and technical assistance. Caricia Douglas, TTT News.
Members of the Tobago House of Assembly Minority Council believe several details are missing from the THA's budget statement, which was presented by the Secretary of Finance, Trade and the Economy on Monday. Speaking to the media following the sitting, Minority Leader Kelvin Morris described the budget as a report of the THA's achievements that does not truly reflect the performance of the administration.
On paper, a fair attempt, but in reality, what the team suggests that it is accelerating growth, anchoring fiscal stability. But what the Tobago People's Party has actually succeeded in is not accelerating growth, but instead accelerating Tobago's economic decline. They have not anchored stability, but have anchored our island in fiscal stagnation, leaving our people adrift in a sea of empty promises and squandered opportunities.
Minority Councillor Petal Daniel Benwa claimed there were several unfulfilled promises which were not included in the budget presentation.
This year, there was a promise of 1,000 homes, and then it was reduced to 800 and then 600. There was no mention in terms of the achievement in terms of housing, and there are a lot of details that, particularly in terms of promises and projects and initiatives that would have been promised or projected that has not yet materialized, there was no mention in that regard.
The budget debate will begin at the next sitting of the plenary on Thursday. Member of Parliament for Tobago West, Joel Sampson, says a cardinal error continues to be made when using national population growth statistics to implement a budget for the people of Tobago. As he contributed to the debate on the motion to adopt the report of the Standing Finance Committee on Monday, he said Tobago's population has outgrown its budget.
The dynamics of the Tobago population is lost and rendered invisible. And the fact that the Tobago population is growing at twice the rate of the Trinidad and national population means that the demand for goods and services in Tobago is higher per capita than in Trinidad. This may take a while to sink in, but think about it. The demand for food, clothing, housing, transportation, recreation, credit and capacity building are higher in Tobago, even though its population is statistically small.